Okay, it's Emma Follet here. We're here at the end of the Giro d'Italia and we're trying to get an interview amongst the sound of the horns with Allan Peiper, who is the DS of Davidomen Lotto. Allan, how was your Giro?
Yeah, I think we had a good Giro all up. I mean, we started off with 3 wins in the first week with Robbie McEwen. Rob went home sort of halfway through the Giro to get ready for the Tour of Switzerland before the big mountain started. But Hank Vogel's had a 4th a couple of days ago, and we've had Wim van Huffel come in at 17th position overall, so it's not too bad. We had hoped for a little bit better result from Wim, and maybe hoped for possibly a stage win on one of the big mountain stages, but it didn't happen. So.
And today, Hank had a bit of a crash, so he was your hope for today, yes?
Well, there's not so many really top sprinters here left, apart from Bettini, Forster and Pollock. So with those 3 guys around, with a little bit of luck, Hank, it looked good that he might have been able to take a stage, which would have been great for him. Maybe he was just a little bit nervous coming onto the first circuits and touched the wheel and went down, so we had to change bikes twice. So he fixed his derailleur on the bike he's used to.
And how does it feel when you DS and you're watching that all unfold in front of you?
The funny thing is you don't really think anymore. You just sort of go into an automative mode. You know what has to happen, and you've got to get the bike and get it fixed and bring him back. And the funny thing is, in the race at 25 kilometres to go on the circuits, there's not a lot you can do on a derailleur that's bent. So we stopped again, and the mechanic just pulled the derailleur and we just tested it to see if the 11 and 12 worked, and that was fine, and said, oh, it's fixed, mate.
So what you're saying is you can do this stage just with 2 gears. You don't need all the fancy gears that you've got on a bike.
Well, this stage you can do the last couple of laps. You can do the last couple of laps with 11 and 12, and that's all you need for the sprint. For the last week, the boys have had a compact on where they've been using a 34-tooth chainring on the front and anything up to a 29 on the back. They had ready for the Kronplatz, which we didn't go over because of bad weather.
And do you think the guys were happy about not doing the Kronplatz, doing the last 5K on the dirt?
Obviously, they were all frozen, and it was a pretty dismal day, you know, getting up to the top there on Passo Furcia before we were meant to go up to the Kronplatz. I think they already missed the Colle de la Erbe, and I think it's a pity that the race couldn't go up there, that it wasn't good weather to go over the Erbe and up to Kronplatz. It would have been a spectacle like you've never seen before, but, I mean, cycling also depends on weather.
Because some people were critical about running it in the dirt for the last 5Ks, weren't they?
Well, it wasn't really dirt. It was a hardened surface, but it wasn't bitumen. I mean, you know, if you have to live up to the expectations of the Tour de France, you have to find something. And last year they did a climb over the dirt, and it ended up to be a super spectacle. Even Cadel Evans was watching on TV last year and said that was the most exciting bike race I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's because he's a mountain biker, though.
Well, yeah, maybe, but this year they tried to do even better. You know, go up to the top of a mountain that was not sealed and make more of a spectacle. But I think they bit off a bit more than they could chew.
And what about in your days? Did they do much on the dirt?
We never did much on the dirt. I mean, it wasn't spectacle back in those days. They were just riding bike races to win. They seem to have made this Giro so hard that 3/4 of the peloton would lay down and submit like they did yesterday. You know, there was only 10 guys still racing yesterday, and there was 2 groups behind of 50 or 60 riders. So the Giro basically this year has beaten everybody into submission.
It did seem like a small peloton today. Did it seem smaller than last year, did you think? Or?
No, surprisingly, I think more guys finished.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's different than the Tour de France, where the time delay is, the percentage of the winner is much smaller, whereas the last couple of days you've had 15% of the winner's time, which adds up to about an hour and 10 or an hour and 5. So you've got to walk to the finish if you want to be outside the time limit.
Right, as in the time limit's very generous on the Giro.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and just one more question with Robbie pulling out about 10 days ago. That was the day, I think it was the day just before it started raining. Was that was always planned, or did he sort of get out and look at the weather the next day? And
I think, look, Rob wanted to go on to the day where we went, had the finish in Brescia, which is going to be about stage 15, I think.
Allan, as an ex-pro yourself, and you were, you know, in Europe for 5-7 years racing, is that right?
10. I was racing as a pro for 10 years, and I've done this race 5 times as well. So I certainly know what it's all about. And do I miss it? Yeah, well, I miss riding my bike, yeah. I mean, I'm in the car the whole day. I only get to run in the morning, and if you're a cycling lover, what you want to do is get on your bike, isn't it?
Well, you look pretty fit, so you obviously, you keep fit by running, do you?
they don't feed me.
Okay, thanks very much, Alan, and good luck for the rest of the season.
See you later.
See
Righto.
ya.